where I think I'm going to start from is teen pregnancy inaharibu shape ya mademu wadogo. Shape tena. Did you see that coming?
Yeah, I did see that coming.
I also did not see that coming. Okay. Shape. Teen pregnancy inaharibu shape ya mademu wadogo wenye wanadonjo kwa puberty. Alafu inaharibia CV ya maisha. Juu kupata ball kabla uwe msoo ni ngori kuruka. Okay, let's start with shape. Because that, wow, thank you for commenting some of what Amani, but I really appreciate it. It's not something that the physical part was not in my mind. I was thinking psychosocial, nini. Oh, hey, but that's point. So, discuss. Do you think that's the first thing going through someone's mind? Shape?
Not really, but it is something that affects that small girl who gives birth to that child. Because definitely, when you give birth, your body won't remain the same. And you see how that is just a part of him speaking for the community, for how the community thinks. So, you know, she's a small girl, she just gave birth, you don't expect her body to be the same. So there's the stigma that comes from her body being different from the others. So, yeah, something that affects them.
Okay, what do you think, Nazi?
Yeah, I think it does. And for me, actually, I'm a mom. And so you can imagine, actually, I'm a new mom. So,
congratulations!
thank you.
How old?
Okay, I know you'll judge me for saying I'm a new mom, but 10 months old, I still feel I'm a new mom because I'm also trying to navigate my way to motherhood. Most people tell me new moms need from 1 to 3 months, but yeah. But my contribution to that will be, honestly, it's a very big factor because even me as an individual at my own age, yes, I did not get pregnant when I was a teen, but it really affects you because your body changes. You know, you just want to slay, you want your body, you want your bikini body back, but there's massive changes of the body and it affects you. It does. So it's a really great factor.
10 months bado nalala vizuri, I'm still fascinated.
Okay,
bado halali.
Bado halali vizuri per se, but at least I've improved, not like when she was younger. Yeah.
This is your firstborn?
Yeah.
Okay, until further notice you're a new mom.
Yeah,
it was
new
moms ni wa kwanza.
Exactly.
Aina pia na nyinyi mnakujanga sana.
Sindio.
Pia hiyo mtajudge. Anyway, hata Mungu anataka. Hey, how do you deal with that? In fact, just out of what you've just said, the first couple of sentences there, how do you deal with the judgment? They're just talking to people. And who is judging you?
No, just people just make comments. You know, and that makes you feel like, I mean, I just had a baby, you know. So there's that stigmatization, even for us, people who are in the society, apart from teen moms. So people will tell you in the office, when you're working, or maybe a friend, an old friend will come and see you, or maybe they are visiting you and like, hey, baby, you may add weight, you know, and it does something to you, honestly. But I think how to navigate that is, first of all, you have to accept that you are a mom and you're not a girl anymore, and that your body has gone through this transition. I mean, giving birth to a human is not a joke. Yeah. So it's just accepting yourself and also working towards what you love, or even maybe what you'd like to see for yourself. Like, for example, maybe when you're done breastfeeding, you can start working on your body. Yeah. So that you just want to feel good about your body.
And then she could be sitting here just giving us advice so we forget the topic. Yeah, just assume that there are some things we don't really factor in. Teen or not, just
teen or not, you receive the stigmatization, honestly.
Yeah. Okay. Mi nilikuwa na assume nikifika hiyo stage ya life atanipea bunda.
Of course you will. Yeah. But also bodies are different, so it really depends with your body and how your body will adapt to that change. Yes, but it's really important for you to accept that you're a mother and that this is a season in your life and you won't remain like that forever.
Okay.
Yeah.
But do you have expectations for... You're still children. I am also still children.
I'm still a baby.
You cannot be having a baby and you're a baby yourself.
I'm still a baby.
But if in your wildest imagination, how do you imagine you would be handling having a human growing inside of you?
My goodness. I don't know. It's a tricky question because I've never thought about it, actually.
Walai.
I've never thought about it.
Hujai gongwa na baby fever, ooh, so cute. Until they start crying, then you return to the parent. Thanks.
I have a small sister who's like 3 years old, so I have seen my mom go through all that journey, and I've been with her raising the baby from a small baby to where she is right now. So I feel like I still have a long journey before I start thinking about it.
Shaona, the effort it takes.
Yeah.
You're not seeing the cuteness.
Yeah, I have seen it, so I don't think. You know, there's this thing that goes, you know, at the age where I am, because I'm like 21 right now, and people, like, by the age of 25, people are expecting you to be having a kid and getting married, you know. I don't know. People are like, give birth early so that you grow with your baby at the same time. But I think as a youth or as a teenager, you should give yourself a chance to grow first, so that when you're bringing that child to the world, then it will be her turn or his turn to grow, not for you to grow with him or her. I think that is how I want it to be, you know. I grow first as a person, and then when I bring the child into the world, I'm helping her grow in her own way. Kama nisha grow me wenyewe.
Yani wewe sasa ni kuguide.
Exactly.
We are not stumbling into life together.
Not us growing together.
Now, it just so happens, nitawapea a story, and feel free to emulate me if you feel like you have a story to share. I welcome. So the other day, I think admin were in the spirit together. There was a time I was going to get a service. So kuna ka waiting room hapo.
Yeah.
So nimekaa hapo, and then some lady comes and sits next to me. So first I think, hey, namba umenikaribia sana. I have a thing about personal space.
Yeah.
Why? Like, there's all this space. Why are you sitting here right next to me? I said, okay, fine, chill. Let's make friends instead, perhaps change your perspective. I'm like, okay, so I start asking her questions. Okay, so how old are you? Yeah, she's 19 as we're speaking. She's turning 20, I think, by the end of this year.
Yeah.
She's 19. Okay, you're 19. Okay, so Rada, what brings you here? I'm like, nimekuja tu Nairobi kutafuta nini. I'm like, okay, that's nice. And maliza shule. I'm like, maliza shule. Okay, she means maybe high school, yes. So this is tertiary time when you're around 19. That's when you're okay. But you're hustling. Okay, sawa. I mean, everyone has their own steps in life. So nimekuja ku hustle so I can save money for school and sijui what. I'm like, so my child, your child, by you're 19, and I'm saying she's so, again, you said body shapes are very different. She's so petite, she looks like her child herself. Yeah, I have a child, how old? 4 years old. But upige your math. At 19, you have a 4-year-old, uliza when? 15.
Oh my God.
Maybe at the end, alishika mimba 14, ikiisha, ndo azae akiwa 15. And she's so serious telling me story. Meanwhile, my jaw has dropped. I even forgot about personal space. Kidogo nimpe a hug. I was like, what? I'm like, yeah, it really happened too. Then she's, okay, she has a little bit of humor. The first time she tried the thing, goal. Yeah, so there was no time for practice. At enjoyment, haikuwa ati sana. You just, kama imeingia, So I was like, okay, so ako wapi sahi? No, ako na wazazi, very supportive. No, mwenye alikupea mimba ako wapi? Oh, bado tuko na yeye, huwa tunaongea nini. I'm like, so nyi mko in love? Oh, so they have now plans for, first of all, I was very grateful that boy did not jump, hop, and skip out of the story.
Yeah, that's so nice.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm very, ubarikiwe maliko, yes. Still together talking about, but you see, now again trickling down to science, I don't know if I watched something before or after, but all these things are coinciding. It might actually take a toll on your body, giving birth so young. Like, not all of you has developed your part ya brain ni huku ama ni huku inamaliza kudevelop in your 20s. Your reproductive organs maybe haven't fully, kuna ovulation, nini, all those uterus, fallopian tubes, etc. Things are mechanically happening the way they're supposed to, but your body is not ready to be stretched out.
Your muscles.
How do you talk to someone? Okay, so she has a support system. What about those young mothers or teenage mothers that, need to reach out to an institution? Bana nimeambiwa nitoke kwa nyumba. nilikuwa nacheza kalongolongo. How would you talk to someone like that?
First of all, with that, you know, when you get pregnant at an early age, you don't, for her, she was lucky. She comes from a very supportive family, and the guy is very ready to support the lady.
Na by the alificha mimba hadi 7 months. Like, I don't know how she did it, but no one knew until 7 months. I'm like, okay, continue.
It's possible.
Yeah,
It's possible.
I did not,
It is.
Okay.
You have a small but it kind. So if there are those who don't come from a supportive family, they come from a very humble background, to a point that even your mother is struggling to feed you or take you to school, and then now you are pregnant, and you have brought you are not pregnant, and you are pregnant at home, and you're not going to school. And your mom, and when you're looking at your mom like this, your mom is looking at you like this, because she's like, what am I supposed to do? I want to help you, but what am I supposed to do? I can't feed you enough, and now you have a baby. How am I going to feed you and the baby? So this definitely leads to depression. And you start, your self-esteem just goes, you know? And now you're depressed, you don't know what to do. And then that is where you find them going to find other support somewhere, and then they get the second pregnancy. It's a whole thing. But I think in such situations,
You
like,
package it well, support. Shoulder to cry on.
yeah, you go looking for a shoulder to cry on, and that is in your search for a shoulder to cry on,
Boom.
another one, you know, another one. So I think when you find yourself in such a situation, first of all, just accept, you know, I'm here, you know, I'm here, I'm pregnant, there's nothing I can do about it. Look for someone to talk to, counsel, you like counseling, go to therapy, you know, the institutions, like the institution that was here before, I chose, I can't remember the name.
It's okay.
But like them, they'll support you, counseling, therapy, and everything, and they'll help you to raise the baby and take you back to school. So, yeah.
The player, that psychosocial support. Okay, first tell me, Mercy, sijaza disclaimer. So I hear about postpartum depression. Is it a real thing?
It's a real thing. I tell you, it's a real thing. Yes.
Walk me through it. How do you know you have it? What does it feel
Well,
like?
sometimes you can't even know or even identify if you have it. You need to be aware that postpartum depression exists. That is number one. You need to be aware. But it happens because, for example, let me just maybe use my story. When you're raising this baby, and for instance, you're alone because of maybe one situation or one circumstance or another, and you have this night, this baby is crying, you're all alone, you've been all alone, you just need some rest. You know, sometimes it can get into you and you're like, why are you crying so much? You know, it's your first time, you don't know what to do, the baby is crying. Sometimes you also end up crying, and that's how you come to be depressed at a later stage, because you feel like no one is understanding you, no one is really getting what you feel. Just that lack of support will make you feel really, really depressed. Yes, and postpartum depression is real, whether you're a teen or not. Yeah.
So I imagine being a teen and still going. Teen
And still
means
going through-
puberty.
Yeah.
Hey,
Still a
me,
child.
adolescence disturbed my life, guys. Yeah.
Disturbed all of us.
There needs to be like a school just for, yani mkitoka hii, mnenda hii, how to just understand your blood is just, inakimbia kila mahali, your hormones are, it's not your fault, first of all, it happens, it is a phase in life, and how to deal with, there should be, sijui nifungue? Yeah.
So
Continue.
Fungua. Yeah, so I'd say really postpartum depression is real, and it's affecting people out here, and sometimes we are not aware that we're already depressed. So the information also is not out here, because you might be stressed, and you know, I don't know if you've had cases whereby the mother is even feeling suicidal, and even they're feeling like they want to even kill the child. Yeah, because they're feeling maybe they are unsupported sometimes, you're not able to breastfeed. It's a lot of different factors with different mothers. Yeah, so it's real, it's real.
All right, there's an argument that is being brought to the table that, for example, there is sex education. First of all, it's not out there, it's not widespread for everyone. Have you gone through sex education when you were in school?
High school?
You didn't go through sex education?
No, I did not. I just got lucky because after high school, I'm a beneficiary of a foundation called Glow Foundation.
Wow.
And we happen to be taught about sex, you know? So I just got lucky, but most people don't get lucky because this is a subject that is supposed to be talked about when I'm in class 6. You know, when they're teaching me about reproduction, how to understand my sexual, you know, my vagina and everything else, this is where they're supposed to teach me about sexual education. This and this happens. And parents should stop thinking about contraceptives as a taboo. Msiambie watoto, sijui ataharibika mapema.
Kwanza ni tabia mbaya. You can't even say the word sex. It's tabia mbaya.
So it should be an open conversation.
I've seen certain videos circulating that, I don't know if it's public schools, but in Nakatu they're in an open place. And then you have a group of two children, not really tall, so I think that's younger than grade 6 siku hizi. Guy, mimi hata sasa sijui hierarchy, you know. But anyway, young kids. And then you have a teacher saying, don't touch here. Like now they are being, like in a song. It sounds funny, but the kid knows, don't touch here, Bana. Do not touch here. Have you gone through sex education in your lifetime?
In fact, when I was growing up, because I'm a millennial, it was like a taboo. Don't even say. Don't speak about it. So I have not gone through sex education at all. At all.
My mother's idea at the time of giving me sex education is, wewe pata mimba utazaa kwa barabara. Si hata uniambie mimba inapatikana aje ndio nisifanye. We're making fun of what I was trying to relate with the two guests that came, and the daughter was like, I have a crush on a guy. If I like, I'll tell my mom. I've gotten in trouble for men looking at me. Mimi hata niko tu hapo nimeziba. Na mama wakuja, mbona nakuangalia, mbona napita pita hapo. I'm like, okay, did I have a meeting? Did I gather them?
I know.
Okay.
During our time, it was crazy. It was crazy.
Bigger girl just, it was almost punishment. Okay. I want us to take the role of parent, maybe to a young adult, a preteen. What would okay, let's say your sister is growing and she's a preteen. What kind of advice would you give her that you were never given?
First of all, you know when she starts getting around 12, 12, 13, and she's excited about the other gender. Because as much as we want to hide these things, they happen. You know, I'm 12 years, I'm playing with my other gender, and there's something, you know, because I'm just getting to adolescence. It's good to just have a sit down with the kid and tell her that this is normal, this happens, you know. You are not the same, you are a different gender because of this and that. If this happens, si kuambia mtoto, nikikupata na nani,
Kiboko.
Nitakucharaza. Nikukuta ukianikia nani leta, mbona unasoma hizo? No, it's a time where you're supposed to have a sit down with that child. Tell her that this is normal, this happens, you know. You're different from this person, but mingle in this way, you know. A conversation that helps her understand that it's not a taboo that I'm being with boys. Like you said, your mama going up, people are like, so anajaribu kuonesha it's taboo. You're not supposed to be there. Usionyeshe mtoto hivyo. Tell her, you know, talk about sex openly. This is what happens, you know. Licha kusema, nikifanya, tunafanya. Ati nikipata, msijaribu kufanya tabia mbaya.
Na ifanyikangi usiku peke yake.
So have a conversation. Talk about sex. This is sex. This is how it happens, you know. Yeah. And then this happens to you, this is how you're supposed to talk about it. Talk to someone, you know. Yeah. Things like that.
You're clearly Gen Z. Talk to me in your package.
In my packaging as a millennial. Yeah, I think this is an important conversation for parents and even for the generation you're raising right now. And I like the previous guests who are here. They said we should start you know, tendering them when they're still young. See, at when you're Africa 15, saying they're already sexually active is when we're telling them. No, before that happens to them, you know, have this conversation both with the boys and the girls, not the girls alone, because they realize sometimes we neglect the boys and we concentrate on the girls. Talk to these men. Tell them when you go to indulge sex to someone, you integrate them, meaning you become responsible for that kid, you know. Just tell them the basic needs, the basic ideas for this sexual education. So involving them when they're young, and ensure we involve both boys and girls, not the girls only. Yeah, even when you're doing, maybe, for example, period education. I saw it in our school when they used to come and they close us in a hall and they close the curtains and the boys are kicked outside. You know? Yeah, I think we should involve boys around these conversations. It's very important.
It's very strange. They teach us about our reproductive organs. They tell us about our menses, but they don't tell us everything else.
Yeah.
Why? Okay, sawa. All right. But no, you don't think it's like it's strange. And yeah, is it so taboo? Because really, I am here because I'm a product of someone, of two people who came together, and so are you. So why are we not conversing?
You want to teach me about how to be clean when it comes to periods,
You
but you
know?
don't want to talk to me about sex. It's kinda
Tell me the kind of feeling I should be expecting. I had an aunt once. My aunt is a OG. Niwa mdogo, but not that small. How old was I? I think around high school. My aunt told me, if you start feeling like you want to seclude yourself with a boy, call me. Call me quickly. So I had an accountability partner. I didn't really understand what she was saying, but I think now I get it. Okay. Oh, kumbe mtu akifanya hii inaweza fanyika. But it's quite scary to me that people are sexually active at 15, 14, 9 years old.
Yeah, it's actually, you know, it's curiosity. It comes from curiosity.
What does this kiingia hapa ina?
You want to understand what really happens. Because we share a mental bias. I want to go deeper.
Forbidden fruit.
Yeah, I want to understand what it is. Yeah, so curiosity takes me there. And that is why in some countries they have introduced, like, you teach the kids about contraceptives.
I was just thinking of that.
At that age. Because if I'm telling you this is sex and this is how it happens, and if you have this sex, this is what will happen. These are the consequences of having sex. But abstain. Try your best to abstain. But if you can't, this is what you're supposed to do. There's something called condoms. Use them. This is how they're supposed to be used. That conversation is supposed to be had around 12 or 13. When you're starting to teach me about periods, when you're starting to teach me about my vagina and teaching the boy about the penis, then you should be also ready to teach me about contraceptives. Yeah.
All right, okay, help me understand. Is that a conversation that might sound a little bit out there? Because I have a friend who at the time used to go to high schools, girls' high schools, mainly for ministry, so she had a purpose. But, you know, these girls come up to you later and start opening up and be like, oh, you know, I'm on this contraceptive. And, guy, she told me traumatizing things. You find that even these pregnancies, these teen ones, are not just boys. They are men, they're uncles, they're fathers. You know, now, how do we... This is a very heavy conversation, but I really want us to maybe conclude on how do we even conclude? Okay, let's just touch on it and then we will revisit. So how would you explain contraceptives to someone who is not even under, yani 18 hata ina sound kubwa, like mtaka 15, 14, 13, and are we saying it's okay, go forth and get busy, it's okay as long as you're safe, or what are we saying here?
I think that's a heavy conversation, and before even I dive into it, I remember, because from Lipeta Basamu, what we do, mentorships and all, and I remember there is this specific school that we visited, and we were not allowed to mention contraceptives.
Wow.
Yeah. So I think also, as a society, as a country, we need to be ready to talk about contraceptives by the way. Yeah, because sometimes you go to some places and you're prohibited to talk about it. And yet, these kids are very active. When you talk to them, they are active. They are practicing sex. So I think we should just first of all, create awareness about contraceptive, because even apart from you having, or even apart from the teenagers having the sex with their consent, sometimes it happens even without their consent, you know. And when you find yourself in such a situation, this is what you can use to just protect yourself. Yes. So I think how I will explain to a small baby on contraceptive is just to tell them, okay, fanya sex, or if you engage yourself in sex, this and this is the outcome. So for you to prevent this and this to happen, just use the contraceptive, you know. Yeah, and then try and just make them understand the different types of contraceptive that are available. Yeah, I think just that it, but I think as a society, as a country, we're not ready for this conversation, honestly, because I don't understand how we visit schools and we are told, hey, stories are condoms, by the way, I'm tongelele hapa, you know.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I remember there was a
so
very big
sad.
debate. The church
Yeah,
said
there's the
abstinence, and
church,
then
there's-
okay.
yeah.
All right, so sorry, we really have to put a full stop on this, or put a semicolon for a later review. One more time, how can we find you on social media?
Listen by on our social media platforms, including Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. Yeah.
And you are?
Mwende Masi on Instagram, Facebook, and also Tabasamu na Upendo. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn.
Okay, all
Yeah.
right. Yo, sasa niwaambie nini? Thank you for watching. Hii conversation, hii syllabus umekimbiza sana bana. We haven't touched on a lot, but I really hope we can have a sequel on this. But in the meantime, we have to bring this to an end. My name is Valentine, or at Color Me Val. I have been with Grasha Mengi. By the way, dynamic duo, if you do not know, yes. Please do stay channel Y254, even though the morning show is over, and have a wonderful day. Tupatane Saturday, game day 2, match day 2.